Here's the truth. We didn't lack courage. We lacked safety. You didn't stay quiet because you were weak. You didn't freeze up because you lacked courage. You didn't walk away because you couldn't handle it. You stayed silent because it wasn't safe to speak. And somewhere along the way, you learned that survival mattered more than truth. Just let that land. Survival mattered more than the truth. But here's the cost that no one talks about. When safety disappears, courage doesn't rise, it shuts down. And you start calling self-protection fear. You start shaming yourself for responses that keep you alive. And over time, you mistake that endurance for strength and silence for maturity. And here's the truth that most people never say out loud. Courage cannot exist where safety is missing. You weren't afraid to speak. You were aware of the consequences. Read the room. You felt the power imbalance. You knew that honesty would cost you emotionally, relationally, energetically. So you adapted, not because you were weak, but because your nervous system chose to survive. It chose survival over being expressive. And that wasn't failure, that was intelligence. Maybe it was a household where honesty was punished. Maybe it was a relationship where truth led to withdrawal or rage. Maybe it was a workplace where speaking up quietly marked you as difficult. So you learned to soften, to read between the lines, to keep the peace. Not because you didn't have a voice, but because it wasn't safe. But here's the reckoning part, and this really matters. When you spend years prioritizing safety over self-expression, you don't just lose your voice. You lose trust in yourself. You start asking for permission that you don't need. You start hesitating even when no one is watching. You feel guilt for wanting to take up more space, more truth, more you. And that's when self-protection slowly turns into self-abandonment. So if you're sitting there wondering, why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I say something sooner? Why did I stay so long? Why did I shrink? Hear this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. Your system was doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect you, keep you safe. And the problem wasn't your courage, it was the environment. And now, for the first time, you're noticing the difference. That's not weakness, that's awareness coming online. Here's what changes every time. You don't need to force courage. You need to create safety. Safety in your body, safety in your boundaries, safety in your relationships, safety in telling the truth, even quietly, to yourself at first. Courage grows naturally when safety is present. It doesn't need to be summoned and it doesn't need to be performed. It emerges. So even if you're in a season where your voice feels shaky, your throat feels tight, take some slow, deep breaths. And where clarity is returning slowly and where you're choosing honesty in smaller, quieter ways, you're not behind. You're building, rebuilding from the inside out. And this time you're not asking yourself to be brave in unsafe spaces. You're choosing environments that your truth can actually breathe. This is not fear. That's wisdom.